Sunday nights with the family. Spending the entire day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, church, being with everybody you love. Hi, I'm Tyler Moore, and I'm going to tell you about my family tradition of the Italian Sunday day and process and how we did things. So, in my family and a lot of Italian families, Sunday is a very important day. We tend to be very religious, very devout Catholics, and we spend the day in a lot of it devoted to church services, but a lot of eating. Italians love to eat. So, first we would start the day. We'd wake up. We would have a family breakfast, mostly consisting of eggs, a lot of eggs, and a lot of potatoes. Eggs and potatoes. Grandfather would start the day off with a small glass of wine. Sunny side up eggs, toast, kind of like a typical breakfast. And then we'd head off to church. We'd go to 11 a.m. Mass. We'd go to our local Catholic church, and then we would spend the entire day, or the entire Mass, as like a typical Mass. I don't know if any of y'all are Catholic, but you do your Gospels and your certain message of the day that the priest goes through, gives a sermon, and then you do the everything else that involves a typical church service. And after that, we'd go for lunch. We'd go home. My grandma would make lunch, mostly consisting of paninis. A lot of times it was paninis. We would do steak, like ham and cheese paninis. Sometimes we'd put in like roast beef. So it was our breakfast and lunch tend to be very westernized, and with a mix of Italian. So sometimes we would do like a smaller lasagna or something smaller. But the big thing was the dinner. We'd focus on a very large dinner. Mostly, it's always spaghetti meatballs, consisting of other veggies, like a mixed salad. Mostly, a lot of times it was a Caesar salad, and we would spend the entire dinner time of making. Everybody was involved in the dinner. We would all contribute to making food. We would make our own pasta the day before, and that was the part my grandfather's job. And then the day of was set with the sauce. The sauce would mostly be started right after we ate lunch, so probably that would be close to like 11:30 noon. We'd make lunch, or we would start the sauce, and then get the meatballs ready. You have to cool them and then put them in the oven, so they stay balled up. And then we'd mix it in with the sauce. We'd also do hard-boiled eggs. It's a Sicilian thing. My family's from Sicily. Our Taormina is we have family from Taormina, and the egg, hard-boiled egg in the sauce, like it's almost like a meat, like it's basically treated as a meatball. It's just a different spin on it that Sicilians tend to do. It's really good, actually. And a lot of it we would do homemade garlic bread. My grandfather baked his own bread, and we'd use that as garlic bread, or we would use Cuban bread, which is longer, has a thicker crust. It's almost like a sub bun, but crisp, has like a thicker crust to it. So I used to live in Florida, and it was kind of like a Spanish. They would mix a lot of Cuban and Spanish stuff into our meals as well. because of the local population. A lot of it was Italians and uh, Mexicans and Cubans. So that's what we would do as well. It's actually really good with Cuban bread. Um, and then the rest of the day after that would mostly be probably a lot of family time. So a lot of bottles of wine. When we go through a lot of bottles of wine, um, and it was a very bonding moment for families, and it's part of the reason why a lot of Italian families are very close and very ingrained. Like they all still know each other after a long time. It's because of this certain bond that these the Italian families have. It's because they spend all this time with each other and all these waking moments. So, um, but but yeah, that's about the extent of my family's Sunday day dinners. Um, so I know a lot of other Italian families that do something similar. They do a lot of different spins on how they grew up doing it, but a lot of big Italian families always do the Sunday night meals um, with the spaghetti and meatballs. Um, a lot of us are really religious, so we spend it devoted to God and family. So and nothing brings people closer than spaghetti and meatballs. Thank you.